All right, hello and welcome back to The Witch's Brew. I am your host, Amanda. This week's witchy topic is Mercury Retrograde. And when this comes out, Mercury Retrograde has already been going on for about a week. I actually had a totally different episode planned for this week. This week was actually supposed to be the episode about working with Aphrodite that was posted last week. But last week's episode, which was working with the old gods, deleted itself. It just doesn't exist anymore. Because when you decide to do something like this that is working with spirits and gods, that's, I guess, kind of what you get. So this week we are talking about Mercury Retrograde. And this was an episode that I wasn't even planning on making for another couple months, but the pull was so strong today, so we're moving it up. So this current retrograde period started July 18th, and it's going to last until August 11th. Now, typically, there are generally 3 to 4 retrograde periods in a year for Mercury. It's a very fast-moving planet. And our last one of 2025 is going to be November 9th through the 29th. Okay, that's almost 3.5 weeks. This one, again, about 3-ish weeks. Generally, Mercury retrograde will last about 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I've talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again. Something that I really, really hate, it really grinds my gears, is the fear mongering that can happen in this community. And I talked about it during the witches, I believe it was the Witch's Path episode. I feel like there's just so much unnecessary fear mongering, but specifically when it comes to Mercury retrograde. It happens so often, and it lasts for, I said, 3 to 4 weeks each time. So if there are 3 Mercury retrogrades in a year, maybe 4 that last like 9 to 12 weeks, right? And that's a decent chunk of the year. Like, I'm not going to lie about that. However, there is no need to be scared of the planets. So please, I say this all the time. Use your discernment when you are consuming content, whether it's witchy content, whether it's astrological content. Find someone or a few people that you really resonate with and go from there. If you find someone on your feed that is trying to scare you about Mercury going retrograde, use your discernment, okay? Maybe that's your vibe. Maybe it's not. It's not mine, but it might be yours. So we're just, for this episode, again, no fear mongering here. I'll tell you the truth, right? As I always do. And we'll also talk about things that you can do to kind of make this go as smoothly as possible. And honestly, actually, right before I came downstairs to record, I was watching a reel on Instagram. One of my favorite witchy content creators, Mo Dizzle, but the O is a 0. And I believe the E at the end is a 3. She's fantastic. And she was echoing the same sentiment that I'm about to echo here in the next couple minutes, right? I will say another person that I really like their content is, I always mispronounce her username. It's Valkyra Verdure. I will link it down below. I will at least put her username down below. She's on TikTok and YouTube. She's an astrologer and she is fantastic. She is my favorite astrologer. Mo Dizzle, not exactly an astrologer, but does know her stuff. So what can you expect from Mercury retrograde? So Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. We've talked about Geminis over here before because I am a Gemini. Hence, I guess why I have a podcast. Because Geminis like to talk and we like to yap. As I always say, just ask my editor, Chris. They will vouch for me. So no matter what sign Mercury is retrograding in, it's going to affect communication. It's going to affect tech. It's going to create delays. So expect traffic jams, expect little things going wrong. Just little annoying things. And hopefully, if you do some of these things that I'm about to recommend and slow yourself down, you will most likely avoid the worst of it. There really is no reason to be afraid of Mercury going retrograde. It is just a planet. So let's talk about what you can do. Really just slow down. A great way to think about astrology and think about the planets and the moon cycle, it's not dictating what's going to happen in your life. That's not exactly it. But it is showing you different aspects. It's giving you little reminders for yourself. And someone over here is saying it's showing you an alternative to the way you have been living. Let's be honest with ourselves. The world seems to just be getting faster and faster and faster. When I drive on the thruway now, I am a speeder, 100%. And I know I need to slow down, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it seems like everyone is trying to go at least 10, 15, even 20 miles over the speed limit. It's getting a little ridiculous. So let these periods of time when Mercury goes retrograde, just let it remind you to slow down. All right. So one of my recommendations is just take unnecessary things off of your calendar and instead schedule time to focus on yourself, to focus on your family, maybe focus on your practice. But schedule time to kind of fill back up your cup rather than running around and doing all sorts of different things that you might not have to do. Now, I get it. There are definitely things that we are not able to take off our schedule. All right. So if that is the case, pencil in extra time to leave early so you can go slowly, resist the urge to speed, and get there to wherever your destination is, get there safely. All right. during these periods of time when Mercury goes retrograde, try to focus on intention and not just trying to cram a bunch of stuff in, which is very tempting. As I sit here and try to record 3 to 4 podcast episodes at a time. Noted. Thank you, Hermes. Patience is key. All right. Miscommunications are more likely to happen during this time. So I recommend stepping back. If you're about to send like a heated email or a heated text, step back. Give yourself some time to mull it over before you hit send. All right. Now, I get it. There are some times when someone is being a dick and you just got to let them know. I get it. All right. This isn't to say to like put your feelings on the back burner, because honestly, sometimes the lesson with Mercury retrograde is to confront and to speak your mind and to let someone know when enough is enough. I've definitely had those Mercury retrograde periods where I had to learn that lesson again and again and again. So it's totally okay to communicate your feelings. It's totally okay to speak your mind, because sometimes, honestly, that's what Mercury retrograde calls for. However, as someone who has experienced this, because I will argue until we're both crying, when a conversation or an argument just starts to kind of spiral and is becoming unproductive, know when to step back is my recommendation for this period. Know when to step back. And honestly, with Mercury retrograde, knowing when to step back is just good advice in general, whether it's communication, whether it's scheduling wise, whether it's overexerting yourself, trying to get too much done. Good advice. Step back. Another recommendation that I have, try to schedule time for reflection and self-care. We talked about it earlier. Mercury retrograde is going to be some big annoying things. It's also going to be some smaller annoying things. Just like you wake up one day and things just are not happening the way that you want them to. Step back. It helped me so much and has helped me so much when I learned to step back and stop trying to control every little thing and just try to go with the flow, which is so much easier said than done. It has helped me so much in general with my mindset and my mood. It's a lesson I have to learn again every once in a while, and each time it proves very valuable, especially because I have a toddler. So we are dealing with big toddler feelings. We are dealing with, he's only 2, so it takes him time to really think through things and figure out what I'm asking him to do. I had to learn this literally yesterday. We're just in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, where things were taking a little bit more time than I wanted it to. And I had a very frustrated sigh. And my son copied me because he's 2. was like, well, shit, that was my fault. I'm being unrealistic in my expectations, and I need to just learn how to slow down again. Again, Gemini, like to yap. Sorry. Please remember that your mindset can shape your reality, which also fits into the stepping back and the patience. If you are expecting bad things to happen, you can bet your bottom dollar that they will happen. And again, this is so much easier said than done, and I will not even say that I even have come close to perfecting this. But I am getting better. Right? Try to go into each day with a more open mind. Scheduling that time to reflect and come back to yourself. And I'm hearing come back to center is going to be so helpful during any Mercury retrograde period. It does not matter what sign it's retrograding in. That's just going to be helpful in general. And honestly, even when Mercury isn't retrograding. I think that is it for this week. I know this is a little shorter of an episode than I have been doing, but again, there really isn't much to Mercury retrograde except for slowing down, taking time for yourself, being patient, allowing extra time to get to where you need to be or from activity to activity. And if you are, I don't want to say a parent, but I guess I'll say it, like a parent or in charge of other people, remember to model patience as best as you can during this time. Because yes, Mercury retrograde is affecting you. It is also affecting everybody else. Okay. And I was actually thinking about this last night. Not everyone, unfortunately, is doing the work that you are doing. All right. We are not, I say we, you and I are obviously doing it, but not everyone in this world is doing the healing work. And yeah, that's kind of their fault. But again, patience, because they are likely not going to be as grounded during this time as you are. And they will also likely not realize that there are external forces at play like you will. So I will leave it at that. Thank you so much for listening or watching. And next week, we are talking about working with the moon cycles. So I will see you then. Bye.